Undisputed.
We hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. We're going to get your new week started off right here on Undisputed. Good morning. I'm Jen Hale. That is Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Good morning, gentlemen. How are we today?
Good morning, good morning. I'm not too good right now, but I was terrible on Friday night.
Well, all I know is that my Dallas Cowboys are way better off than your Los Angeles Lakers are right now because my Cowboys are back in business.
Still not going to win anything.
Yeah, we are. We're going to win the division. That's all that matters.
Oh,
yes,
look how you talking all big. You talking big on a Monday morning,
big
right?
And bad.
In March. Let's see this attitude in November and December.
Yeah.
Tell you what,
Here
I think Jerry Jones was listening to y'all because the Cowboys made some big veteran moves in free agency, and man, the price was right. The Cowboys traded for wide receiver Brandon Cooks yesterday. Dallas sent a 5th and 6th round pick to the Texans for Cooksey. This is just a few days after the Cowboys also traded for All-Pro cornerback Stephon Gilmore, getting him from the Colts. All right, Shannon, you first. How much better have the Cowboys gotten with these two trades?
Before I get into how much better, can we finally admit now that someone said last year that trading Amari Cooper would be a mistake, and that also by drafting a receiver as early as they did, trying to bringing in T.Y. Hilton for the stretch playoff run, and now trading for Brandon Cooks, that trading Amari Cooper was a mistake because they didn't have anyone to fulfill that other side? Clearly, Noah Brown was not the answer. Michael Gallup probably needed an extra year in order for him to get up to speed, to get back to his normal Michael Gallup self. But a trading Amari Cooper was a mistake. Now, back to our normally scheduled programming. I definitely think this is a big addition to them. He's a great compliment outside on the other side of C.D. Lamb, and that's what they needed. They needed the guy that they can count on. They can go into the game, Skip, because no matter what you think, yeah, he's small in stature, he's small in size, but everywhere he's been, he's produced. Now, 2 of the 3 places he's had great, 2 of the 4 places now, he's had great quarterbacks, guys that are going to the Hall of Fame on the first ballot. He had Drew Brees. He had Tom Brady. He goes to the Houston Texans, and he's still putting up numbers regardless of who's in there at quarterback. And so now he goes into a system where he wants to be. He can go out there, he can focus, knows they're going to give him an opportunity to win, give him an opportunity to make plays game in and game out. So, Skip, I like the move. It didn't cost them a whole lot. Even they got Houston to pick up $6 million of the salary, and the Cowboys only got to pay $12 million. So you're getting a guy for a 5th, if I'm not mistaken, Skip, if I read this correctly, a 5th and a 6th round draft pick, and you're only having to pay him $12 million, given the productivity that he's given you since he's been into the league. So I like the move for the Dallas Cowboys, one of the better things that they've done in the offseason, because it helps the offense. Look, I like Gilly. I think Gilly's going to perform extremely well. But we all know that defense wasn't the Cowboys' problem last year. It was the offense. And even though they've given him another weapon, it only matters who's pulling the trigger. I don't care what type of gun. It can fire 7,000 rounds in 2 minutes. But if the person that's pulling the trigger isn't accurate or he's turnover prone, he's going to end up harming himself. And that's what could possibly happen with Dak Prescott. So I know you're all giddy. You was all excited when the news came down. You probably threw the computer. Probably this is the second computer you purchased in the last 2 days because you threw the other one out the window. But I will give Jerry Jones credit on this one, Skip. I like the move for the Dallas Cowboys. They got a great receiver on the opposite side of C.D. Lamb.
Okay, it is my turn, and I wish I had a seatbelt today to keep me in this seat, but because I might come up out of it. I will address your criticism of the Amari Cooper situation in a moment. But I'm going to start with Jerry Jones because I have bashed Jerry Jones enough on this show. To paraphrase the great Shakespeare, as you often do on this show, I usually come to bury Jerry Jones, not to praise him.
Okay, Julius.
As in Caesar. Yeah.
Mark Antony.
But today I come only to praise Jerry Jones for 2 beautiful low-cost moves that filled 2 gaping holes and fixed two glaring need problems for my Dallas Cowboys. I am so proud of Jerry Jones today. And remember, Shannon, he did this without violating his offseason mantra of we will not plunge in free agency. You realize both these moves came via trades for fifth-round picks that were already compensation picks to begin with. So Jerry now keeps his own fifth-round pick in this draft. So Dallas has every pick in every round that is their pick. And by the way, over the last decade or so, they have done very well in the draft, except for Jalen Tolbert, their third-round choice last year. It feels like a bust. It feels like a swing and a miss. Hence the glaring need at receiver that you alluded to. It just got fixed via trade. Jerry did not spend a dime in free agency except to keep Donovan Wilson and to keep Leighton Vander Esch on defense, two moves I thought were iffy at best. I figured both would be gone because they are stalwarts of the defense. As you know, Donovan Wilson led the defense in tackles last year. And as you know, when I look at Leighton Vander Esch, if he can stay healthy, he is the quarterback of the defense. He's the difference maker at linebacker on defense. Okay, so you keep them, and now you go to the trade route, and you go get a Stephon Gilmore, who to me, Shannon, you can say I'm overstating this, but help me out here. Is he not going to be a Hall of Famer? Because I'm pretty sure he is. Is he not a more solid cornerback, an even better cornerback right now than Trevon Diggs is? That's how good a pickup that was. And you got him for a fifth rounder, and you got him for a mere $8 million. That's insanely great. So you didn't have to go plunge and spend $20, $30, $35 million for some prize free agent. You got Stephon Gilmore. Right. Now, Brandon Cooks. Yes. You get him for a fifth this year, and I think it's a sixth next year. That's dirt cheap. And as you point out, Houston says, okay, we'll pay a big chunk of this. We'll pay $6 million of this. And Brandon Cooks has told Jerry Jones already, reportedly, that he will renegotiate even the 12 that Jerry owes him for this coming year. And now you get a guy who's played in 6 playoff games and been very productive in all 6. And to your point, he was on teams that went to back-to-back Super Bowls. Well, I'm not saying he's Deion Sanders changing the playing field for Dallas and San Francisco in those 2 years, but it shows you that, to your point, wherever he's gone, good things have happened. Okay, so what happened with... Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, but if you remember, he got hurt very early in that New England-Philadelphia game. Who knows what the outcome could have been had he played for the entirety of the game. Brady had 505 yards, and Brandon Cooks, if I'm not mistaken, had over 1,000 yards receiving that season. So who knows what could have been?
Yeah, he went out with a concussion early in that game and had little to no production in that game. But to your point, Brady throws for a playoff record 505 yards. Who knows what could have happened? Okay, back to Amari Cooper. Jerry spent a first-round pick to go get him from the Raiders at that point, from John Gruden, who had given up on him. It worked for half a year because he turned Dak's life around. All of a sudden, Dak became a new man with Amari. And all of a sudden, my Cowboys, remember, they lost to Tennessee on that opening Monday night that Amari tried to play, hadn't even practiced with them. They were embarrassed at home on Monday Night Football, and then they took off and won the division and won a playoff game. Well, I'm good with that. Yes. But then the next year, as Dak went to contractual war with Jerry Jones, Amari went south because every away game in 2019 disappeared. Remember New England, he winds up, who made him quit against at New England against the Patriots? It was Stephon Gilmore. He just took him out of the game. Until Amari said, no moss.
You remember what happened during the Jets game?
Well, he caught one ball for 3 yards. Yeah, and then he was gone. And I don't know what happened. They said he was hurt. Then he came back and had a monster game against Philly at home the next week. Well, he's playing great at home and disappearing every game on the road to the point that Remember, Jason Garrett yanked him from the game at Philadelphia in the do or die for all the marbles game for the division. He yanked him in the fourth quarter because he was running half-hearted routes. Okay, well, at that point, I told you I'm done with Amari Cooper. And they kept trying to force feed him the football. And yet, Shannon, he did exactly what CD was about to be able to do. He was the alpha. He was the number one. And he was clearly, to CD, the number two to me. And there was a lot of conjecture out there. A lot of Cowboy fans were all hot and bothered over, could the Cowboys go trade for DeAndre Hopkins? Well, again, it's the same syndrome of he's CD, or CD is trying to be DeAndre, because DeAndre is more of a made man. But the point is, CD has made the Pro Bowl the last 2 years, so he's an alpha receiver. He's your possession receiver. He's a bigger, stronger, 3rd and 8, throw it to me, and I'll go up and snatch it kind of a receiver. As you know, Brandon Cooks is the perfect complement to that because, remember, Brandon Cooks, I know he's 29 now. It seems like he's played longer than that, but he's still only 29. Once upon a time, Brandon Cooks ran 4.3 at the combine. So he is much faster than DeAndre is. He's much faster, I think, than CD is. He is a legit deep threat that is, he's proven himself again and again as a deep threat. So all of a sudden I say, well, I'll take that. That brings me back to Odell. We're going to talk more about Odell in depth here in just a moment about how the NFL's just shunned him. But remember, it got so hot and heavy with Odell last year near the end of the season that Jerry announced he's coming to Dallas. Remember that? Jerry flat out said he's going to be a Cowboy. And I'm like, okay, bring him on, because he had been the good luck charm for the Rams the year before when they won the Super Bowl. And certainly in the playoffs, he played much better than I thought he could